All right, we're live. All right. Okay. All right. Good evening. Today is February 23rd, 2026. And the Mid-Road Fire District Board of Directors will now call this meeting to order at 5:31. And do a roll call for directors' presence, please.
Yes, Mr. Benetti,
Yes.
Director Owenby,
Yes.
and Director Jones.
Here.
Okay.
Director McGowan said he'll be here.
Okay. And Director Wakeling is excused. Yes, if you would stand with me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Staff is present. Cassidy Austin. Okay. All right. Item 2, approval of the agenda. Y'all had a chance to look over the agenda. Anything you see that needs to be changed? Are we good to continue on as presented?
Good to go.
I would entertain a motion to
Make a motion.
today's agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as it is. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Director Benetti,
Yes.
Director Owenby,
Yes.
and Director Jones.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
3, approval of the minutes. So review and approve the minutes from, 1:22 and 2:9. Yeah, chance to.
That was the interview.
So 1:22 was the interview, and then 2:9 was our last. So did we? Okay.
Having changed. I just thought, like, the meeting may not have been video recorded. We do audio recording. Just make.
Get that out for posted onto YouTube and website. Link to the website.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes from 1:22 and 2/9/26.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Call the roll, please.
Director Benetti,
Yes.
Director Owenby,
Yes.
and Director Jones.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Okay. And Secretary Treasurer's report, nothing was reported before he went on his vacation. And I was hoping he would be on here this evening, but he didn't. He didn't make it. So.
You have a checkbook, you write a check?
I do. I wrote one check.
Oh, boy.
For the rental on the facility for $75. So from his report last month, we're down another $75.
Very easy.
Moving out 4 into 5. Welcome, sir. We have Director Gowan joining us now. And we are on item 5 for public comment. Seeing no public comment. We'll move into item 6, and that's old business. So old business district boundary, item 6A. So after our discussion last week, or last meeting, I should say, reached out to council, our council, and I'll read you the email that she responded. The general judgment is attached, which I have the judgment from Judge Galley. if I remember correctly, the legal description that was in Exhibit A was basically everything except what is part of Applegate Fire, Cave Junction, GP. So anything that was wrongly included in Applegate boundaries would seem to me to be covered by your boundary. With that, based on the email from Mr. Taylor, which is the DOR guy, I would think that you could just submit the attached judgment, a legal description from the county legal description from the county order creating the district, the map showing the impacted properties, and a board resolution accepting the judgment and the boundary. So we have the judgment here and that information from her. I did email her back because today I received an email from Chief Wolford, and I'll read you what he's advising his counsel. Basically, well, just summarize it here. Basically, his counsel is advising that those properties are in neither district. And so therefore they would have to be either voluntarily annexed into a district, one or the other. So I was hoping that our legal counsel would have got back to me after I gave her some more information, but she hasn't got back yet. So I was going to send a letter and pass it out for approval if you think it should be sent. I did send this to her to ask her opinion on it first, but if she approves it, I think that we should move forward with at least this notification to them.
So can I just ask a clarification? And I believe we discussed this at our last meeting, but initial district boundaries established were, at the time, Josephine County Fire Protection District included this area we are discussing. Is that correct?
The very first one.
The incipient map that was created.
Yes.
Then there was the legal discussion between Applegate's annex areas, which then made an adjustment to this, to the boundary map.
Correct.
That is no longer correct. That area, that not all of that area is we identified by the black outlines. So that is now unprotected. However, if I understand at least the conversation with legal to now, shouldn't it divert back to the original boundaries that were established? I don't understand how it could be part of the district. Discussion about annexation, understand that. Now that discussion that ensued is not entirely correct as it was thought to be. So I don't understand where the discrepancy is between it going back to the original established district boundaries.
So because of the annexation map, the county at that time, being the commissioners and county legal, submitted an Exhibit A, which Exhibit A removed that section from the boundary. And that's what this judgment is based on Exhibit A is what our district has to be, because Exhibit A is based on the map that they provided. And with that map being, having the errors, our Exhibit A needs to be adjusted.
Okay.
To compensate for, I mean, that's how legal, that's how the explanation was, is we would have to come with a resolution to
Go back to what was originally-
redefine Exhibit A to include those properties that were left out.
Okay, so basically, revise Exhibit A
That's,
to revert back to what,
that is what I read for,
and that's what you're needing clarification from legal for.
correct.
Understood.
I like your letter. I think it's appropriate.
Agreed.
And, my opinion is if we need a vote on that, we can do that.
But we wait for legal to go over it, make sure that there's not something that she wishes to add to. I was hoping that she would be able to get back to me before this evening. She wasn't.
So can I suggest we make a motion to allow you to move forward pending legal's feedback? So I guess I'll make a motion that we approve the letter was written pending any legal revision. And with that legal revision, if there is any, this moves forward to communication. Second.
A motion and a second. We get all of that? Any further discussion?
Should we put the reverting back to the original map, Exhibit A in here?
So Exhibit A excludes that portion. The original map has all of it.
Right.
So we can't revert back to that. So we have to,
We're modifying Exhibit
we have to
A,
amend Exhibit A.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to put that in here with the amendment to Exhibit A or just leave it as it is?
That's why I was gonna wait for legal counsel that they want
Put this letter into her and see what they
Yeah.
recommend too.
yeah, see if she thinks we work to it or move it forward.
No further question?
Okay. Max. So, let's see, and then, since we're in the boundary, discussion, there are a couple of other, pieces in our boundary that, one was left out of the original because the, formation documents do state that all areas outside of the existing fire districts. So there's one property, that was left out in the, kind of in Wolf Creek area. And then one property that was included that should not be included in IVs, and it's up on the top of case there. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yep, sorry. Hang on, guys. We have to do a roll call on the motion. Sorry.
Director McGowan,
Yes.
Director Benetti,
Yes.
Director Omby,
Yeah.
and Director Jones.
Yes.
That motion carries forward.
Sorry.
That,
Got ahead of myself.
Okay, is this landlocked or is it inaccessible? Is it a, just only
Sure.
The, is it landlocked or is it
Group project.
Oh, it says,
yeah, property? So that one would need to be added, and then this one here would need to be removed because it's actually in these districts.
so what do we need to do to have that recorded as not part of our district?
So when we do this boundary change, we should include these two in it.
Is this
All one.
property where need to be lettered and asked if they'd like to join our district property? Or just assume that it was missed?
It was missed on the original, and our formation documents state that all properties outside of existing districts.
So when you talk to legal, I would make sure that these two properties are included in that adjustment. Just saying.
So we can include that in the resolution
Makes sense.
for the boundary change. Okay. All right, any further discussion on district boundary? All right, we now move into item 6B, Mid-Road Executive Director Position Update and Schedule. So
We're done with stuff.
we will, let's see, we have a closing date of the 27th. Huh?
Oh, I was asking about, A.
Do we have that?
Committee yet? Yeah.
We're on 6B. So we have a closing date of the 27th. And the interview window set up, but we're going to need to actually pick those days to do the interviews. We currently have a few. Are you?
11 applications put in the draft, just on one platform. See, the platform, but just on one platform, it's been viewed 4,689 times. So we have a pool.
So we're currently sitting at 11. So we would need to schedule days to the interviews and make sure that this facility is available.
I want to make a suggestion that we walk through a few things just to confirm that we aligned with what we've already discussed, but per some discussion as of today and some consult with SDAO and some ways to move through this to ensure that we're meeting our obligations legally through our process. And some things we can do, some efficiencies with our process. So if you give me a minute, I can walk us through those and we can confirm that, yes, we've had those discussions and this is how we're moving forward.
Okay.
So we did and have agreed to the job description as written. And we've discussed that, voted, moved that forward. We also agreed to the compensation range and to further discussion to other compensation possibilities along with it. With that, and I would be open to a conversation, but Director Benny and I could review all applicants to ensure that they meet minimum requirements. If we have that group of applicants that meet minimum requirements, then we can move them into our board interviews. We can select at that point that if we had a number of qualified applicants, we interviewed them and felt that we needed to, or we wanted to question them further to confirm their intent, their why, and a fit for our needs moving forward, we could have an additional interview. So just to put numbers to that, we have 15 applicants, we review those, 10 of them meet minimums. We interview those 10, and we feel like there's 5 to 6 that may have a really solid presentation. They have good experience. And the needs that we have moving forward, we could bring those 6 for an additional interview to get down to one that we would choose to hire or offer a job to. So we didn't define that step or those steps, so I wanted to find that now in our board meeting publicly, so that we meet legal avenues.
So that is awesome.
Yeah, great. So I would suggest that we, as an option, include a secondary interview to qualified candidates if we determine that there's enough of them that meet our minimums and also what our needs are that we've identified as a restricted job description forward, that we at least consider that as an option. But we're not needing to necessarily pick from a list of 15, let's say, and now if we want to refine that a little more and give opportunity for them to express some of their thoughts and ideas about the needs we have moving forward, that we allow ourselves that opportunity as well as the candidates to maybe share more definitively some of their specific thoughts and ideas they have about the needs we have with.
Is that where we would possibly come up with the process in your process rather than just 2 interviews? Have them the general questions for everybody, and then you could have the assignment of, this is what our district's looking for, come back with your presentation, what you, and so like the two-step could be the secondary. We interviewed them, we heard their answers, now we give them assignment to come back for a second presentation. But maybe it's that time for them to present to us based on the, on the description we give everybody.
Yeah, we can do that. For that discussion, I think we've qualified candidates and we've identified what qualified is in the job description, that we may have a need to, we would need to create what we would like to present specifically.
Yeah.
And so that is an option. I just think at least a secondary interview, giving our reviewers skills and the candidates the opportunity to have a secondary interview. We have to find candidates that really truly present well, bring the experience and some of the specifics we need with being a new district. I think there's a lot to consider, potential applicants that have helped develop new districts or transition organizations from department to district or district to department.
Combining two previous districts. I agree. We have 11. I don't forget that enough.
Yes.
So process then would be that you and Randy go through, verify.
I'm suggesting that that's an option. For
Right,
us.
I mean, this is just kind of, and so from that point then, we would need to have, after you verified X amount, meet the minimum. We would have to interview those as a full board.
Correct.
So what we need to do then is find those days to make sure that this facility is available and schedule that now, and then schedule a secondary interview if that's, if needed. But at least they're scheduled and ready to go and we have it blocked out so that it's, that time's going to be here before we know it.
Yes.
So as long as we can get that blocked out and have that available, and we know that on these days we have this, and then if we don't need it, we can cancel it.
Yeah.
But it's going with the need for scheduling, and so.
I would like to see us go along those lines, let them screen, because that's their committee. And then they say these are the ones that meet the minimum that we should have the first interview with the board. And then out of that, say we do bring 11 for the first interview, but there's only 7 that we feel are really we want to take forward, is that we give all of those that pass that one the assignment of what we come up with, our paragraph, and then have them come in for the presentation of that. I don't think the second interview is really going to get us anywhere more than we got the first time, except for they're going to re-answer the same questions. So I think the assignment of, okay, you're now the chief executive officer for the district, this is the direction we need to see, or this is the direction the district needs to go, how would you get us there? And let them go do that homework and figure out how they would, and present their ideas. And it gives us that, okay, we can look at the initial interview, we can look at the presentation and say this person's solid, or no, that's just off the chart, and then we can make our final decision after that presentation.
I think that's a reasonable.
And then we define what we want.
That fund, yeah, the assignment, the assessment has to be well-defined, given to everybody the same.
Or we want you. But case may be decide that. And that's,
Yeah.
and that's what they get.
Yeah, just pre-design, like Tom's saying, it should need to be designed now.
Right.
So we do the same thing and we get the realistic presentation back.
There's a couple of other things I want to just bring up for us to be in discussion, we're just confirm direction decisions that for our hiring process, that we will go into executive session to review candidates once interviews are complete. Then we will, if and when we decide to go to a secondary interview, we will announce that we're going to go to a secondary interview. Pending that process, we go to executive session. When we determine who we want to offer a job to, we'll come back to open session, vote on that, and that will, okay. There's a little bit of, I'm going to confirm some of that with you. based off of previous experiences with SDAO recommendations. So I'm bringing that to the table, that open discussion. I guess my intent is we want to align with SDAO as our organization of credibility and business. Again, the suggestion to just kind of bring that we have met the steps they suggested, but again,
I like it.
So we have the 2nd through the 13th as the, so screening, so if the 27th is the end date, so then 28th is Saturday, the 1st is Sunday, 2nd being Monday. How many days would the two of you need for screening?
I think if we blocked out like a 2 or 3 hour block of time, we could review.
You mean even a half a day, say?
Yeah.
But we have 11 applicants, and if we spend 30 minutes on each one of them, you know.
So, if we set aside the 2nd for screening, and then we would need probably a couple days to notify them, to get them scheduled. So we would start interviews on, say, let's see this, now we
We have a board meeting.
board meeting on the 9th, which, yeah, so,
We might need to be adjustment, we need to be flexible for some applicants that may be from out of state.
Yeah.
yeah,
So, I mean,
we could do interview, we could do some interviews.
Yep.
I think that's appropriate, some people, especially people, may have to travel a distance.
So if we screen on the 2nd, and if the thing is, if we're gonna be doing 2 interview instances in there, we have till the 13th. In our timeline.
we can adjust it.
Right. Yeah, and we're pushing it further. So possibly, depending on, I guess, in location, and applicant availability, if we could do the first set of interviews
By the 13th.
by the end of the week of the 2nd, so what's that?
The 6th.
6th.
That's next week.
Yeah.
We can make the 2nd work for the pre-screening. Just, I have a 10 o'clock update, though, I'm going to get glucose check real quick at 10, other than that, I'm on.
Yeah, we can look at the 2nd. Sometime on the 2nd, we'll work.
Would we be able to do a first batch of interviews on the 6th,
On the 6th.
which is Friday?
I'm unavailable from 4 PM that afternoon.
So just to clarify, if we did the actual interview process and we get them done by the 13th, and we decide that we have 5 people that we really would like to move on, we can assign them the assignment. The presentation could be them on Zoom or even backwards. It doesn't have to be everybody sit here and they come in and sit down. We could do a Zoom presentation. It doesn't have to be that. It could even be videos that we would sit and watch. Because I don't think that presentation, if we ask questions, it could interfere with we didn't give this person the same chance to answer questions like we did this person. So I think if we ask them to do an assignment and present back to us, it either needs to be a paper or a video presentation. Because the interactions are going to be different with each person after that point, and that's where we're going to get in trouble if we don't offer everybody the same opportunities of interactions. So with the interview, it's easy, all the questions are the same.
Right.
With an assignment, if we have an open forum for us to ask questions or clarifications, it's going to be difficult because now not everybody's getting that same exposure. So I would say that in your timeline, the interview is important. If we take 5 on, we can give them the assignment, and then the presentation needs to either be, we agree, a paper and or a short video, their presentation. Then we can make that review watch it and help make our decision. It doesn't have to be that to make our decision, it could be that everything together. So we're not doing the scheduling 4 times. So if one of our applicants is from North Carolina and they fly out for the interview, then we're gonna turn around and come right back in 2 weeks for the presentation. Well, they can go home and do the presentation from home versus turn around and fly right back. You see what I'm saying? We're trying to be friendly, but also fair and equitable to everybody across the board. So I wouldn't even call it the second interview, and you could even put in there, I mean, everybody has a right to, if we're getting hired on in the fire department, the very last thing is the chief's ability to call everybody and go, hey, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on, and it's an informal, and he has that right if it's written out.
I guess one thing to consider to allow what you're saying is maybe the initial interview is via Zoom, and then if somebody from North Carolina is in our group to move to a secondary interview, then they can fly out for an in-person interview, giving them here's what we want you to present on, giving them the time to work on that instead of coming out and doing it.
Yeah, I just hate to see him come out twice.
If you want, if you're interested, I can see, that's a candidate, maybe, but I think it's equitable across the board, people traveling, meet recommendations.
So the first interview could be all Zoom video, and then the assignment, and then if we want, the presentation needs to be in person.
I think doing the presentation, I'm on board with what you have said, but I think the assignment and a video conference at the same time, so they send us their assignment.
And then
we have the ability to ask them questions on a Zoom, so we're meeting both needs, and they're not flying out here to have to.
yeah, just make sure we're fair and equal to every applicant.
Right, well, everybody has the same options. If you're local, obviously you probably want to do it in person, but if you're not, you know, we have that option, we're not taking it away from you, we're just saying that you also can do a Zoom, but you need to email to, you know, the office, your assignment.
As long as council reviews it and go through the process.
Who reviews it?
The SDAO, like you said, and then have our council look at it and
Yeah, so
to make sure everything's.
we can, as long as we communicate openly and open forum, and we discuss it, and we determine, yes, this is what we're. Correct.
We get to decide tonight since we're closing.
What steps, so we communicate that to the candidates moving forward.
Correct. What do you guys recommend for reviewing the committee?
Well, I like the idea of pre-screening, because we have somebody that just doesn't meet it, they just threw an application in because they're open, nobody else did or whatever, that, you know, we can weed out the ones that are obviously not gonna make it, don't meet the requirements, and then we bring that back to the board for interview. We can do the interviews either Zoom or in person if they're here.
So what day do we want to do those interviews?
Before the 13th.
Well, you're not available on the 6th.
The 9th is our general meeting.
Yeah. Well, that's when we can discuss who's going to interview, because that's gonna have to be open.
Well,
We'll determine
yes.
the group that's gonna move
But
forward.
we still need, then there's the notification time for them to schedule their interview. See, and then we're gonna be already into the 13th before we know it.
But we can't make a decision on who's gonna move forward,
Right.
you know, without the board, so I'd say on
We
the
could
9th.
hold, so once you do your screening, we could hold a special meeting to determine who moves forward.
I'm okay with
Then
that.
we could do a special meeting on Zoom if we need to. So, down here.
I'm available, if you're available on the 5th. We'll do our screening on the 2nd.
So you're saying their screening is done before a meeting on the 9th. We can't talk about that at our meeting on the 9th, or we have a special meeting?
So the idea is to notify the candidates as soon as possible.
Yes.
Okay, if we wait till after the 9th to
So you're saying special Zoom meeting?
yeah,
Gotcha,
then we
okay.
can Yeah, it's, hey, you're
now saying.
But the third is,
I want these things.
yeah. We can do this, the entire special meeting can be on Zoom. So we can Zoom the entire special meeting, so we can just get together, you can bring forward these candidates, numbers 1 through whatever, meet the criteria, and we'd like to give them interviews.
how's the fourth sound for a special meeting? We'll do the interviews, shoot, the pre-screening second, the fourth we can do a special meeting. I'm available all day, so don't make it early for me.
What time of day works for everybody on the 4th?
I'm open all day.
After, oh, we're just doing a Zoom, right?
Yeah.
So we can do,
I would say. Let's do 5:30, make sure everybody's tonight.
Make sure it's
Zoom.
I do have an appointment that I can report.
Well,
You can come in by Zoom too.
do you want to push it out to 6? It's
6 would be better. Probably keep that.
okay, let's do 6, and then, because it's on Zoom anyway. So we can set it for takedown. So 6 o'clock Zoom special meeting.
Which we need to get the engagement out for that ASAP.
Yeah, special meeting for 6 o'clock.
Cassie, if you would put an identifier at the top of each applicant, 1 through whatever.
Remember them?
Number them,
Please.
yeah. Okay, so this will be special meeting to determine interviewees. Okay.
You have any questions for that, Mark, or?
What's that?
We're gonna get the questions through SDAO for that.
so that's what, part of this is that they
For your funding, yes.
questions and, yes, let's use,
Use theirs.
we'll pick,
Yeah.
4 or 6, 8, whatever. Use those predefined, those have been vetted for fire chief, executive director, did the.
District administrator.
So you can, so on the 9th, we can have all those questions given out so that we should have those for us personally. So we'll send them all by the 9th so we can determine, to, like if there's a bank of, let's say there's a bank of 12 questions, we can look them over before the 9th, and on the 9th we can say we want questions 2, 5, 7. Well, yeah.
We can say, here's our bank, like 6, here's our 6 questions, put them to paper, and we'll have those for our notes, because we do need to score them and working.
All right.
Like it.
And then, so interviews, we would start scheduling. So we have them on the 4th, we could schedule them basically the 10th through the 13th.
So I have the 10th is the only day I've got available.
10th is the only day you have available.
I'm good on the 10th.
And how many would we be interviewing?
There's a one, two,
One.
So then we need to determine how many, or how much time per interview.
Right.
So then we can together with
Not enough.
right, I know. So do we need to break this into 2 days then? Because if we're doing it in the evenings only, we're gonna have to break it into 2 days.
16. Now, because of that conflict, I can recuse myself to keep things moving. I would have to recuse myself from all of them.
All should be.
But to avoid
What was our original timeline we came up with last week, or last 2 weeks?
2, do you have it? The 2nd through the 13th was interviews. And then, you can read that off to me.
Yes, so closing was the 27th, application review and candidate interviews was March 2nd through the 13th. Tentative job offer was March 13th. Background and fitness check was scheduled March 16th through the 27th. Medical and drug screening March 30th through April 3rd. Formal job offer was April 6th with the tentative start date of April 20th.
That was our last time.
I would say we have a pretty direct task in front of us, and if we need to adjust our time, the need to get the individual most suited to do the job we have set in front of them, that we adjust our timeline accordingly.
Yeah.
To give ourselves the space and the ability to make strong decisions with candidates that are going to move us very directly forward.
If we end up with more than 5, we're gonna be interviewing all day.
Right. So that's why I'm suggesting meet for 2 days. So is there a block of 2 days back to back that you can be available?
The next week's supposed to be 660.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like the 16th and 17th,
and 20th.
the 19th and 20th.
That to do all day, 2 day type of deal.
Night with you and I have a community dad or chamber dad.
Not to compress our timeline, but if I need to recuse myself from the interview process, I'm open and willing to do that if the board sees that we're talking a week difference.
Last meeting, we threw out there a May 4th start date. We all thought, oh, that's a little too far out, but that date's starting to look like it's reality.
I don't want to shortcut the process and to get somebody on board to have time to get following.
Yeah, just to make
So, plan on extending it out as necessary.
So if we did half-hour interviews, 10-minute break in between.
And the interviews need to be public.
Yep.
Yes. On YouTube.
So whatever's being asked.
Do they need to be in our district? Because it's not
Hang
a
on.
meeting.
No.
our interviews do not need to be.
Because we're not making decisions.
They can be executive, they can be discussion.
I'm saying, my suggestion is we interview people in executive session or in our process, our process.
Make a decision.
You know, well, we say if candidate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through the secondary process, that we bring back to our open discussion with open meeting forum. And then once we make a selection of the individual, then we can do that in executive session, so we can openly have conversation about thoughts, impacts, whys, our own observations. Bring that back to open forum for we have.
The decision that we
Yeah,
make.
I make a nomination that we make a job offer to XYZ candidate.
That's questions. So
Yes.
By Zoom, everybody can watch, and that's unfair for all the other candidates.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason I was asking for clarification, because I would suggest we reserve the Parkway training room because it has a foyer place somebody can come in and sit and not be, like we had the other night here. A little more formal, has bathrooms, facility.
I think it still needs to be held within.
Still needs to be held district. The meetings need to be held within the district. Yeah, we really have the place, the waiting room here, the ability of a waiting room here.
The only other thing I would suggest is maybe talking to ODF. I think they have a training room.
Is there
Upstairs.
possible? Yeah.
Yes, we use the upstairs training room.
Yeah, just, this is a little informal for, there's no waiting room, somebody standing out in the rain.
It's part of the test. It's a humor check.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to schedule then for the, what'd you say, 19th and 20th?
It's fine with me.
I'll make that work.
Fine.
Starting at 5:30 PM?
5:30 PM on the 19th and 20th?
Well, the only issue would be having a second reporter there.
I mean,
If we could do the audible recording and
I
later,
mean, I guess you could do it up with the record.
If you're holding executive sessions, you're not recording.
Not record that, right? Still need, documentation.
Yeah. You have to have for executive session.
Yeah.
We've got the recording, but they can't record it or something. They can't dictate it, so, checks.
Yeah. Well, Ralph was our secretary treasurer. I could see it.
What does the weekend look like? I'm not a fan of it, but, you know, if we have to do that.
Weekend? What's your availability on the weekend?
Available on the 14th and 15th.
I keep pointing back to her.
First, but also the 19th and 20th. Available.
But Cassie's not gonna be able to be recording.
Right.
Plus at 10 o'clock, we have the chamber chatter.
Well, that's, but we could do midday, start on midday. We would just have to take notes.
We could do Saturday, but we need to be real and have an hour for minimum for each applicant. This is a formal big job, it's at least an hour. And the reason I say that, if they get done in 15 minutes, they're done, whatever, but we need to schedule people out for the day, so they have a scheduled block.
Crash and end up with somebody's.
Yeah. Yeah, so if somebody takes 30 minutes to interview and then they want to ask questions for 15, we're not.
You think it's Saturday the 14th? Because I'm open all day. I can start it back and forth.
I'm not available on the 14th, are you?
No, you said the 21st.
Oh, 21st.
21st, yeah.
Yeah, Saturday the 21st.
So if we do all day on Saturday,
Which might help with the interview people, because now they only have to take Friday off to fly in if they're from out of town and back to work on Monday.
We can make that.
We do Zoom. A Zoom.
we have that option.
It's an option.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just not.
It's not the best option.
On Zoom, each person would have to have their own link.
Yeah.
You can do that.
It'd be an individual. Yeah.
That'd be my
For
consideration.
each.
Yeah, so we get logged in.
Right. So it would be a separate Zoom meeting created for that individual. For that person.
Okay. We'll secure it that way.
Once we get the number of qualified candidates, we can make a better determination of how much time on the Saturday we need.
Yeah.
Like I said, we just
Or how many are moving forward.
correct, and then you can say we can allot an hour to each, or compress it if there's more.
February 20th.
Six, yeah, 6 questions and take 10 minutes to go each question. So that's what I'm saying.
Sunday.
Chunk it.
So it'd be all day on the 21st.
I think we should.
And I'll just leave it up.
And hopefully, ODF would be available.
Well, yeah, provided, yeah. We'll have to see if they have that room available for Saturday, the 21st, for 10 hours.
Well, I'm just saying. Better
We'll know on the second how many
Yeah.
candidates we're gonna have,
Yeah,
so we can base our time frames on that.
yeah. Okay. All right, so tentative schedule, 21st, all day, interviews, hopefully utilizing the ODF training room. Okay.
And then, going on that next step, if we have the secondary part of it, you feel that could be handled in a week? Give them a week to do it, or?
So,
21st to be the interviews.
Notified by the 23rd, 23rd
We'll be out on the 30th for
presentations.
Is that, yeah, I think that's,
We can move forward. We have a general meeting on the 23rd. We could move forward with our selection for the second interview on that night. Notify them on the 24th, have them presented.
it gives them a weekend in there.
Yeah.
30th.
Mhm.
Yeah, the thing with the 30th or 31st, any of that time, that's to be after 5:30 for you to participate.
That's fine, let's do it regular.
Yeah.
So, the 30th is for the presentation, their assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is our second interview.
Right. Yeah. That was going to say presentation 30th.
So just to clarify, if we talk about an assignment, obviously right now it's public information, do we need to be in executive session to talk about that before we decide and then come out of the meeting and say, okay, we agree to this assignment and pass it? Because we obviously aren't going to sit here and say, this is going to be the assignment.
No. It doesn't meet one of the executive session requirements. Yeah. View that, I don't think it's covered.
I know that it was an option for us at the county when we were doing recent interviews. It was an option for us to hold them within executive.
The interviews, yeah. Of the creation of the assignment. The actual assignments.
You have to be very careful.
Yeah, so we could do it.
To protect our homes, make it fair and equitable. To design, we can look at questions, assignments, processes for each individual candidate does not need to be an open form, in my understanding, related to a hiring process.
Fall under, is there
I do that.
I do fall under. Because we could do it, I'll have the questions, the things to discuss them by number one, I mean, we should change number two, or, but yeah. Let me dig into the, Laura, to make sure that there's one that we could use.
That was one of the questions with legal, for legal follow-ups. So it's like we just discussed, and then the ability for us to develop pieces of the process making the project in an executive session. And I don't know if the wording is truly executive session, but and testable evidence for that to be fair and equitable and to have the security and privacy of those pieces does not need to be in open form, but executive session is the correct term.
That's what I was just gonna say is like, we have you two as our staffing committee. If we got an email to all five of us saying, this is what we recommend, questions, do you have anyone through? Well, you're not making a decision as the board for the district. All we're doing is saying we're ready for the meeting coming up. Is that something that has to be an open forum? The other question is, if we did the same thing with an assignment, that we all send in, this is what we feel a good assignment would be, and you collect it and go, all five people are kind of coming up with the same idea, so here's our assignment. It's not a collective board meeting.
We don't propose what they are.
Because then it becomes a serial meeting.
Okay.
Yes. So we can't do that either. Yeah, let me look into a statute that would allow us. I think I know there's more than 7. There's like 16. I think you had them in your SDL thing, didn't you?
Yes.
16 different.
Yes, that's what I was just looking at here to see if I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Reasons for.
Yes. So, okay. Well, we are only on item 6B in business.
I do want to touch anything.
So are we good with that date, 321, all day, or we'll go to, or maybe we find it suitable?
321 for interviews, assignment presentation on 3:30. Screening done on the 2nd by the committee, and on the 4th, we will hold a special meeting to determine the interviewees, bringing them to March 21st for interviews. Okay. So we can get out of the update and scheduling, and we can move into the staffing reports if you want.
No, you still got it.
Or is that still part? Okay.
So I just want to verbalize and communicate and just confirm we're on the same understanding direction. We did have a discussion about contracted employee versus employee. We need to have the district director or executive director needs to be a district employee for us to allow them to drive or vehicle under our insurance.
So Steve Silva from SDIS responded back stating as long as the district gives the individual permission to drive the vehicle, they are covered driving the vehicle.
So I do understand that as well. Chief Sutton's recommendation was to be the cleanest processes for them to be an employee.
Not so important.
And not for the payroll piece of that, the accounting for our budgeting and accounting, the insurance, while that is correct, I understand that to be the same, if the incident was to occur, the cleanest process for us and most protected would be to have a district employee.
So we need to add quite a few things in there then. You need accounting firm and workman's comp and it'll just be an addition, yeah. So
But we do not need to pay for a second vehicle. There's some elements.
but I thought if we opt out of PERS in the beginning, we get no PERS forever.
We don't want that for the staff.
We would agree with that.
Right.
We don't want to set ourselves up to be pigeon.
Right.
So there's other things that I'm still getting input on to make sure that we're trying to navigate the most correct as possible. One of the suggestions was the cleanest way possible. Now, it's a payroll company. I can understand that, but what else do we need to have in consideration as an employee?
Yeah. Need to address that.
It's definitely, regardless, we still have to have it. If it's a contracted person, we'd still need to actually have a payroll company just so we have an audit.
You currently don't, or contract.
No, that's what I'm saying is if we end up with a payroll service, then we would put contracted employees in. the payroll.
Right, yes.
Because then it makes our audit easier because now we have a third party.
And they'll get the 1099s out.
Retirement.
Yeah, PERS.
We only need 24-hour notice on our special meetings, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Did you have anything in the rest of the agenda you could speak on? Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. Do we have any more on the update and scheduling? No. Okay. All right, moving into item 7A, committee reports, staff and training, communications policy, prevention, and vehicle acquisition. Do we have any of those this evening?
Yes.
Do you have anything more for staffing or training, sir? And then there's nothing for communications, no policy, prevention, nothing new, and moving into vehicle acquisition.
We do have some updates. To start with, originally we had talked about purchasing a vehicle that was fully equipped, code ready and so forth. After some considerations and thinking what we really need and the potential for the need of a vehicle that's fully equipped, I felt it was better we just bought a good vehicle to do what we need to do now. And when it comes time to needing a vehicle with code equipment, we can do that. But we can add some minor stuff.
Would the vehicle be, would the vehicle meet the requirements of the state fire marshal for a vehicle that could respond to emergencies?
State fire marshal requirements.
Not as
So
an emergency.
for an FDID number, if we have a vehicle that is able to respond to an emergency and an individual who can respond to an emergency, then an FDID number would possibly be able to be assigned.
If that is, we can modify that. I've built enough of them. I'm sure that we can make that happen.
Which is reflective striping, lighting. It's not a,
Right.
It doesn't have to have a light bar, just needs to have code lighting, which can be LEDs in the corners, in the back window.
but yes, we could make it. If we found that needed to be happening.
What happens is that we end up with an older vehicle with lots of miles on it because somebody doesn't want to get rid of a decent vehicle that's already set up. Or we buy a vehicle that's 2018 or newer, which takes us out of some of the mechanical issues that are inherited with some of those vehicles, transmissions and so forth. That being said, we looked at several vehicles, Vinny and I did. We looked at Kia Telluride. I didn't think
The options open.
Yeah, you know, looking to see what's out there.
Electric.
No,
Kias.
did not look electric. We looked at a 2019 GMC Yukon XLT Premium. It was 113,000 miles, I wanted 24,000. Looked at a 2019 Yukon Denali. That was 37,000, which was outside of our price range.
Oh, that's the other one.
Yeah, that's one we did. That's when we set the truck in because it was hailed on us so bad. And then, we looked at a 2019 Ford Expedition Max. The Max adds about 18 inches in length to it. That one is $27,000. It had 97,300 miles on it. It's got new brakes and rotors, new transmission at 60,000. And I questioned that because the information that I've received said that it had transmission work done. Doesn't say new transmission. But either way, the transmission was done at 60,000, the tires on it are in really good shape. It's a private party. And they just, on that particular one, they would like a little bit of time. Once we say we want it, you know, that's when we go with, so that they can look for another vehicle.
Because they're family vehicles.
And yeah, and that's, you know, I'm fine with that. So after looking at, you know something, Cass?
No.
Oh.
Bless you for listening.
After looking at several vehicles and driving a couple of them, felt that the best vehicle for our money was the 2019 Expedition Max for 27,000. I do have,
It's the platinum edition, so it already has all the bells, whistles, features. So the only thing you don't like about it is that it has a full glass roof. But it is what it is.
yeah, most of them come with sunroofs anymore. And try to find a Tahoe. Talked to two different 2019. We talked to
How many?
9730.
So
Yeah, we talked to a couple of people, one dealership, and said they can't get a Tahoe. And the new Tahoe is 85,000. They said that the only way they can really get a Tahoe right now is to get one off of the auction. And the reason why the dealers don't have them is because they're so bad that they just go to auction. They know they can't turn them, so.
we did have a dealership that we were talking in talks with, and he was willing to go out and buy one. to bring to a lot for us to be able to consider purchasing. And we didn't want him to go out that extra mile to bring one into a lot.
And what is the,
Oh, he didn't know.
No.
It's just a 27.
and what would it cost to decal?
That we don't,
We did not go into,
it's gonna be about, what we're, figure thing.
Yeah.
the delivery on that one's gonna be cheap. We don't have to fly any place, it's in Medford, so
Yeah,
we've already looked at it and,
that's good.
yep.
Yes,
That one
yeah.
is the 3.5 liter EcoBoost with a 10-speed automatic. Yeah, they are good motors. The one Yukon, that Nolly has a 6.2, they're fuel hogs. You know, those are, that's a big block, yeah, those things are just gas guzzlers, so.
For its fuel cover.
And the other question I have, and I had reached out to somebody at DMV and haven't heard back, but there's a place for the E-plate, but we don't have an FPID number yet, so I don't know if that's gonna qualify. So, and the registration costs have gone up tremendously,
Yes.
so,
Special districts. Yeah, in the E-plate, so
right,
you have connection on that?
yeah, sure.
In the E-plate issue.
So Randy did say it, but we did drive another Tahoe. It was a little less in money. This one here had more miles on it, but it just didn't feel like it had the same overall care, taking care of it. And
Was
so
that the Yukon?
the Yukon, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, it's still the same thing as a Tahoe.
Yeah.
But we did do a drive that, so we did actually physically get in a Tahoe type vehicle versus the Expedition, and we just, between the two of them, we really.
And what color is this?
The actual color is white platinum metallic, and the interior is medium ceramic
If you
leather.
do the pictures, I can pull if you'd like.
This is the actual sheet on the vehicle when it was purchased new. It was 84,000 new. That was, yeah, that was, okay. There's the actual sheet on it. And also we have is the, on that particular one, we have the Carfax report on it, the services and what had been done to it. There's all the dates. No accidents.
It did have, I mean, it was a used vehicle, we did find some little spots like the front bumper was bumped and the pocket put things. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but there was some little signs of wear on here and there. And
He has pictures of it. Those are ones.
got it. I can get my LTE open.
So on the recommendations of the vehicle acquisition committee,
It was the 2019 Ford Expedition Max.
that's your, so I would entertain a motion to approve the purchase of the acquisition committee's recommendation.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with purchasing the 2019 Ford Expedition as discussed.
Leather interior.
Second,
I have a motion and a second for moving forward with the purchase of the 2019 Ford Expedition Max. Any further discussion?
97.
Just for clarification, the fact that Randy and I did talk about the need for code 3 versus a staff vehicle, we felt the direction our district's gonna be going the next couple of years, the staff vehicle made more sense. But then we also had the reality that our direction could completely change in 3 years, and now we need a operational response, and we need to buy that chief vehicle, code 3 light bars. This still could be a staff vehicle. As we know, it's not going to end up being, 3 years, we need to get rid of it. It's,
my only just thought with both staff field versus operation is in the event we have a large scale expanding weather and it turns conflagration and we get perimeter control or perimeter protection of other entities, having code 3 lights is just absolutely imperative.
it is, I get that. And right now, we still don't even have a footprint of where we're gonna be in 5 years. So the vehicle, I don't wanna go spend $80,000 on the vehicle that, you know, we're not sure exactly where our direction's gonna be in 5 years. But this one will help.
Roughly speaking, what would it cost be to put a light package into this?
That's Randy's world.
Roughly, this,
Just a light package for it? No, I think we can probably do it 20 actually. For a light siren controller and a radio, which we may want to put a radio in it anyhow.
Yeah.
And 4-corner LEDs.
Did you say 20 grand?
Yeah.
yeah.
I go on Amazon and get you some sticker tape to call it. So you're ready. I think go 2 or 3, but I gotta go turn on all the switches.
The actual requirements for those three vehicles, they have very specific lighting requirements when you're parked versus when you're moving. You can see from the front and the back.
Chevrons on the back.
Yeah. So I would say any vehicle that's not currently code ready is gonna be another 20 grand to update.
So would it be more beneficial than to find one that's already code ready? Cost wise, are we still gonna be looking at the same price?
No. In order to stay the 2018 and newer, the code ready vehicles were definitely up there in the $50,000, $60,000 range versus down here in a more compatible. But I guess I need to re-ask you guys, the direction of this district, are we gonna start running calls or we need to go out and do education and help get a tax base for our district before we, so I'm just saying, are we putting the cart before the horse in what we would need?
The only concern that I had was the requirements to assist getting an FDID number.
But then we can buy a cheap code 3 vehicle.
This is, but
Operational responsive.
yes.
I've seen that, so I'm not aware.
Just have to- Since we currently don't have any apparatus or personnel that can respond, it's a struggle to get that. However, once we do have a vehicle and a person who could respond,
So we could expand this a little bit longer. I am still currently operational in any large-scale incident within our district. I would respond to under our current Wood Valley Fire Chief standing orders of mutual automatic gate agreement with chief officers in 3rd Armored Wing Fires.
And we also have our current chief, excuse me,
And I get what I hear what you're saying, but we also could look at this, get this done, we got a guy that's going out in that direction, now we find out we have to have a response-ready vehicle. We also could turn back to our operations provider and say, hey, we need to have this vehicle available for this person. Because there is response vehicles sitting at their stations not used. So that could be a discussion we could have afterwards. I don't believe the main body of what we need the vehicle for the person that we're hiring is going to be response. It's going to be getting to meetings, presentations, trainings.
but it will need to have identifiers on it.
And yes, absolutely.
you can share that list with me so that I can go over it because obviously in the future, maybe other issues that come up, we need to, have that happen too. And so I would like to meet that. And then I can do some research to find out what it takes to meet their requirements. In other words, what do they want as a staff vehicle? Is, LEDs in the corners and the back window and the siren adequate, or do they want something else?
On the car. There's the other thing that we feel good about this vehicle, and just, I get where you're saying we're going, but what's on the car back's the price of it.
Let's try to put that.
But it's right at the top when you opened it.
The original price.
Let's give you an estimated price. I can open it. Phone.
It's on there, the whole thing, I just, be on the
Next page.
I put it probably on most things.
Anyway, the vehicle, she's asking under what even Carfax put on it, or its value, estimated value. So my feeling when Randy was talking about it, let's see it on there. Anyway, the value is there. So even if we got and drove it, I don't see that vehicle getting 15,000 miles a year because it's more or less going to be the local saturation. The value is going to stay up on it. So even if in 2 years we need to get a Code 3 ready vehicle, we now can sell that one and recoup money from it. But it's dependable, safe, and at 100,000 miles, we would expect it would be putting another 100,000 on. So I get you. I understand it. I just keep going back to that. Well, it's not really, is it wise for us to spend the extra money from the money that we have? Or should we be more focused on what direction we need to go to secure a future for the district? So that's why I feel that the non-light bar and all that, we can look into that if we need to add it to this vehicle. Or we can make the decision down the road that, okay, now it's time to acquire a response-ready apparatus.
That 20 grand, I just estimated that's outstanding.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, that's sitting there. That was that. Yeah.
It's still in use fire. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're just waiting to finish the discussion and then we'll vote.
Let's worry about, see what the Carfax value they get with 8 out of 5, but they
Once it is open,
cost them $45.
LP service will be cost for years.
The other concern that I had is once we get a vehicle that has the ability to respond code, what's that gonna do to our insurance?
But that one discussion with
Language as well, but.
So I couldn't pull it up, but it had a value in there. I think it was well over 30. It was like 35 or so. It showed us that she's,
It's under.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, do we have any further discussion on
can you reread the motion again?
And we have a purchase the 2019 Ford Expedition as described, and then you had, sorry, Director McGowan seconded the motion.
it? Okay.
No further discussion.
Further discussion?
Director McGowan?
Yes.
Director Benetti?
Yes.
Director
Yes.
No. All right. Okay, well, we will move forward with the purchase. Once the SDIS has the information on the vehicle, they can put it on the insurance. He said we will need vehicle year, make, model, VIN number, and replacement value, and then we can add it to the policy. So,
What's really cool is
It's all right there.
and then as far as purchase, do you, are you going to go to the bank and get a cashier's check, or do you want to stay district check?
they still owe money on it.
They still owe money on it, so I would recommend that we take a district check to their bank, which is Road Credit Union, and hand Road Credit Union the check, and then they will pay the vehicle off, and then disperse the funds back to them.
And when, do you have a tentative date of this transaction?
I asked her when she would need it by. She was asking for some time to go shopping. So we can set a date that we, the district, Ralph's not back until the 10th.
And the check.
We don't have a reason to. So she's put the vehicle as in pending mode. She's considering it sold. I told her to wait. We have to wait until tonight to make a formal decision to, that it could go either way.
Where is the vehicle staying?
She's very tough.
Yeah, so I'm assuming we can keep it at our office. We will have to ask them if there's parking at our office.
So we have, and I'm just looking at, we have interviews on the 21st.
March 21st. But so,
Do we want to do the vehicle acquisition and have it in hand before the interviews?
well, I
It's like
mean,
a big difference.
yeah, what did she need for date time wise? And then the problem is if something happens between now and then to the vehicle, we need to.
We're not giving her a test.
Well, no, right, but I'm just saying that would.
I think we need to work with her to see how much time they need. I think they may be holding off to make sure it's gonna be sold before they go shopping. And if she, you know, if we put a date on it, say the 12th or 15th or whatever, that'll get them in gear.
So let's put a date on it. Otherwise, if we wait for them to say, then we have to wait till the 9th to determine when that date works for us. So if we pick a date, if Amy works for us,
Yep, we pick a date, that'll be okay.
then it'd be fine. So let's say sometime the week of the 9th through the 13th.
Until 13th.
I just say the 13th.
13th, okay.
Friday the 13th.
Purchase 13. Okay.
Mark, this is the sheet that was on it. That's the VIN right there. But the first letters are small, but if you go to circle it, it has a VIN on there. Yeah, you know, got everything.
What it would be, his other question was the replacement value.
200,000. Oh, did I say that?
I'm just reading that down now, replacement.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, would we do what the,
That's what I was looking for on the Carfax.
the battery, the 30 whatever it was, if you can find that, this, we can.
Yeah, I'll be
utilize
looking
that
at
as the blue book value, replacement value, right?
That's all. So,
Just look up the.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I will, send that off to him with a tentative date of the 13th, that is the.
In your position.
All right,
looking,
we are moving out of item 7A and into item 7B, employment structure. What, that was, I think that's what you went over already, correct? Okay, so we will move
So these,
out of 7B and into 7C, which is chamber chatter. So Director Benetti and myself will be going on chamber chatter on the 19th. Just wanted to see what the board wished us to discuss in that chamber chatter. Do we just discuss the district, its what it's made up of right now, how the service is being provided? Do we want to give a indication of the direction we're moving?
I think it's important to, one, how we work, so the history of it. So that people could understand that are listening, that we were formed by the commissioners, titled by the commissioners, and then once the board got in place, we restructured and retitled ourselves. I think that's important to get that history in there. And then the current status of how we are doing business today. But I would be careful and leery about reading into the future, because I think the big step that we're doing with hiring a chief executive officer or their title director, I think they're going to be a key part of the future. And I hate to put this out there in public forum before that person's in, because we might end up going a different route. So out of respect of that person, I would like to wait our future discussions until we can actually.
So the new hire shape.
We'll help us shape that direction, because I think we're going to follow, support them in the direction they want their district to go, and not.
I think you know, to really discussions, the current service provisions for the district are provided by Rome Metro to this degree, no service interruption.
Don't change it.
Change in service, no change in. So,
and be careful not to.
Yeah.
subscription, excuse me, no
Subscription, no change in subscription.
I would still be careful about.
On that one, just because, just the current status is.
They have the
we
ability
can't-
to increase.
Yeah,
Well, but it still has to be approved by us. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, which they did increase the
The whole
one penny.
Yeah.
Or actually, not even that, it was a
0.5%.
tenth of a cent or something like that, tenth of a cent, whatever it was.
I think those two discussions are gonna be a lot of talk, just the history of it and where we're at.
History,
And then you can preclude it as the fact that we're in the process of hiring. You know, not really details, but just say we are in the process of hiring a chief executive officer. I keep saying that, it's chief.
Executive.
Yeah.
Executive.
No, I mean, I think it's important to mention that we are here.
That's cheap, where you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Executive, or executive.
It's important.
Would there be anything out like,
I think that's a lot.
well, it's 5 minutes. Yeah, it's 5 minutes, so it's pretty long there.
You know, potential for repair to be.
And we can let it, yeah.
Be another commonality, but. And
potential for the city of West University.
West Coast.
Yeah, all West Coast from Canada, Mexico.
Yeah.
That's some of my new stuff.
So, Randy and I'll get together and draft something to discuss with them, and then we can also allow them to ask some questions as well.
Sure.
Okay?
Mark, we can have those.
Yeah. Everybody's good with that?
Yeah, thank you guys for doing that, it's huge.
Well, she offered it to us, so.
I'll take the easy one, and this one might not be so easy, guess we get.
Okay, so moving into item 7D, reciprocity for district records. So, looked into Dropbox for us to use. The standard one is $15 per user per month. Wow. Yes. And it gives 5 terabytes of storage for the team, and it's recommended for people for 3 or more. So obviously, we would have, once the executive director is, 7. So we're looking at what? Monthly cost, 715, so 105 a month, and that's paid yearly, so that's that $15 per month is a yearly fee, so $12.60. So is that something we want to move forward through? It gives us stay connected across all devices, gives us 180 days to restore any deleted files, transfers up to 100 gigabytes. File size, you can do a 100 gig file transferred into it. Edit PDFs and get signatures, brand your files, password protectable files, gives a quick, has a little AI teammate dash is what they call them, question and answers for that. But it gives managed team sharing and you can create groups and apply roles.
Are you obligated for the year? You pay for the year, then you're obligated for the year, if you cancel it, will they refund?
That's a great question. I did not dig into that.
The only reason I ask that is, again, get our executive director, their vision is, that's not what I'm gonna use, this one's more safe, this is the direction I want us to use, would we be able to switch? So,
Laserfish was not as defined as it costs this much for this package, or that they don't have. It's a, what do you need, and we build it and bill you for it. So I guess this was a, I can get the answers without getting a quote from them. So without.
I can it's much more cost effective laser vision.
I don't have a problem with price, my thing was that if we
Cancel it.
that would be the only thing that we potentially are paying for a year, and have here for 6 months.
Prices change for regularly. And digital security is a big issue. They take ownership if there's a data breach, and then they offer a solution to make corrections or provide follow-up for the data breach.
Don't like the voice of experience.
This is very user-friendly.
Yeah.
And I didn't previously have the digital signature options to use digital PDF conversions, which was the only issue that was a challenging part to Dropbox and storage and communication of files.
So at the SDO conference, there was a company there that worked on just this. They worked on setting up secure storage for districts, and they had quite a bit of information there. I did get the handout. That doesn't ring a bell, no. It wasn't one of the conference sessions that I had, it was one of the there. But I did pick up their information. I didn't follow up with them because we weren't really talking about it at the time. But I tried to get as much stuff as I could. I could follow up with them and see, roughly what they get, but I'm gonna guess that they were there and they were probably a lot more expensive than.
I don't think this price is out of the market. I'm just asking for,
I pay that much for my own stuff. I actually pay $20 a month for my own storage.
yeah, I don't think it's an unattainable price.
What's the storage capacity? I can probably fill it up. Not really. No, I think that's.
Yeah, it's terrible.
One of my phone. They got 34,000 pictures on here.
I think it's a good deal. It was just questioning that part and changing it to obligate.
Well, I mean, do you think we would change it within a year?
No.
I mean,
We have,
we get big enough to need something else.
well,
There's a next level in.
Well, it's advanced and then there's one more above it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair price myself based on what I pay personally just for my stuff. And if the new administrator decides that, there's something better than like it, we can talk about it and we can do a phase out period so we don't have to jump right into it. So we're not gonna lose our money.
Well, we're gonna have to, there's gonna be a period where we would have to transfer everything from here into whatever the new system is anyway, so that we can.
And quite honestly, if we need something now,
Right.
like the meeting minutes, I can't upload those. I can't email anybody because it's too large.
Yeah.
Or on file sheet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this would be best just to upload it there and then plus we can,
All of our assess applications, interview questions.
everything can be uploaded and secured. Correct.
you ready for motion?
I would entertain a motion to approve the district purchase the Dropbox standard version.
Make that features.
For seven users, sorry.
I'll make the motion that we proceed with the purchase of the Dropbox plan as outlined. And if down the road we decide to change something, we can do that. Right.
Motion in a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll please.
Director McGowan?
Yes.
Director Benetti?
Yes.
Director Humphrey?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Carries 4-0.
Yeah, move into item 7E. Resolution number 2026-002 in the matter of authorizing the Mid-Road Fire District Vehicle Acquisition Subcommittee to purchase a district vehicle. Entertain the motion to approve resolution number 2026-002. It was based on our discussion and approval last meeting.
We'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-02 in the acquisition of a vehicle.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Call the roll, please.
Director McGowan?
Yes.
Director Benetti?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Moving into item 7F. resolution number 2026-003 in the matter of authorizing the president of Mid Road Fire District to obtain legal counsel on behalf of the district for up to 20 hours. And that, again, that was discussed during the last meeting and voted on. I would entertain a motion to approve resolution 2026-003.
Motion to approve resolution 2006. No, wait, whatever the number you just said,
2026-03.
Thank you, 2026-03.
I second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Moving into item 8 of the agenda, correspondence, review of any letters, emails, or documents received. Other than applications, did we receive anything?
Yeah, David Courier, they had submitted their.
We have a bill. Yay!
Is that the Verizon bill?
No, the Verizon bill got taken care of. I believe this is the Daily Courier bill. Posting. Job vacancy posting, and it was for $227.40. That was for how many days? Just one? Okay.
It was 1 day.
This was just one, so we'll have another one of these. Right. Yeah, so we have another one coming. Oh, yeah, the 8th through the 11th.
So like,
8th and the 11th, sorry. 8th through 2 days, 227.40.
But it's a good side.
Yeah, that's the copy of the ad right here.
Local business.
Yep, copy of
I
the
like
ad. All right, so we will get that taken care of. Okay, any other correspondence of the state?
that's it.
All right, moving into item 9, additional matters of the board.
So clarification on Verizon that Director McGowan made comment about is Verizon's sending our cellular bill to the county of Josephine. And so we intervened, Kathy and I intervened on that, and we went online and set it up as an auto pay with my debit card for the district, so we don't have to worry about the bill, it's paid. But they'll still send a paper trail of the statement.
How much is it, Bill?
37.
So, don't understand why she went in there and tried to change it once, and then we got another one again, and so we went in again, but I did get the acknowledgement the address was changed to our PO box, so hopefully we'll clarify that.
Well, when I have the executive session guidelines, if you want me to just read those out, or I can just email this to everybody, and it's in a long document, but it's SDO Public Meeting Authority for Executive Session. You know, we just email it?
Yeah, you can just email
I'll
it.
just do that. It's got a whole bunch of stuff, and I'll put the page number.
Is there one that would work for the, okay, we'll look it over.
I didn't go through each one, I just found the authority for executive session and stopped at that. The other thing, I guess just thinking forward, looking fire season, and do we as a board need to have some discussion at some point about that in one of our next budget meetings, or excuse me, one of our next board meetings? Do we need to have some sort of thought process and plan for what may happen, and or are we going to leave it up to just the department that's providing the service, or?
Some consideration that we can do on forecasting for our season is I think it would be reasonable for the board to extend our authority to Chief Nelson and Royal Metro to act on, to make decisions regarding conflagration if and when a conflagration is needed, because to do that, you need to have board approval. Correct. So to front load board for Joe Chief to have authority to make that decision on their.
We can create a resolution,
Extending authority for
emergency authority.
emergency authority to
Chief Nelson or Officer Lansby.
Yeah,
It'd have to be a specific individual.
It
yes.
have to be Chief Nelson, correct? Chief Prince could do it as well, but it'd have to be the ops chief or the fire chief.
That's fine, I'm just saying, not a kid, we want to make that.
No, it can't be that.
Has to be
Chief Nelson over,
And we could extend, we could put the language together as far as under emergency circumstances with the need or consideration of Emergency Congregation Act, being active, you just already just done our behalf based on.
Just notification to the board, I just think.
Yeah.
Yes.
With a 24-hour notice to the board.
Yeah, right.
Like 2 o'clock in the morning.
They need to be able to act. Right.
No, the state's very adamant about having a POC for that
Yeah.
information. They don't want to have to go looking in both alteration. Should. It would be very, very.
good one.
Does anybody want to take that on drafting that, or
But,
do you want to do
time
it?
to let them know, so
You haven't.
Yeah, we need
the
to,
resolution.
we'll probably need to add to that a little bit, with the references to, so there's, like that references a couple things for different stuff, but like, since it's giving them the authority for the configuration, there's language that would need to be in there for that. No. No, there's like that right now.
Do you know what that is or where to locate that?
You might, yeah.
Sure. We need to talk about the third anyhow, so the pre-screening, so we'll just get together.
Thank you. I do. You have anything else?
No, I don't think.
I have actually something I forgot during our discussion for the employee. I pulled this off of SDIS, the drug-free workplace program through my, I think you talked about that. The cost, it's the $50 setup fee and then $35. And then I just make sure that it's split even. And the other one was for the background check, and it's $32 per check.
The vehicle, there's 2 elements.
There's 2? Okay.
You can do two question reports. Or the background can include 2 segments, criminal background check and motor vehicle report. And I would suggest to consider both for the fact that the individual will be operating a vehicle.
Okay, this one shows state court reciprocity, state administrative offices and courts, Department of Corrections, county court records, county, state level sex offender record, probation, parole, and community service records.
Okay. All right. That filing form at the top of the background packet, it has 2 boxes to check. One is the background check, the other is the MVR. So we're just
So we just check them both? Okay. And then the other thing is I would, since Director Weidling is our treasurer and secretary, I would like to issue one of the Microsoft Office licenses to him to use, since he needs those to process all the finances and whatnot. Right.
Fine with that, yeah, so.
So I'll have him download, I'll send him the stuff to download Microsoft Office on his computer. So we had some issues with opening some secure email from the state for LGIP. He wasn't able to open it because he didn't have Microsoft Office. So make sure he gets that.
Good.
Okay. I guess we can do that without objection.
Without objection.
We will give Director Microsoft Office licenses.
I'd like to just mention that you're gonna work on the insurance, because we'll need a copy of
Yeah.
insurance prior to us.
I'll send this all off to SDIS and then get us a insurance card.
So we are at 320.
What's that?
The 320 is the purchase date.
I think it was prior to that.
We did,
Well, 13, 313, okay.
You contact her.
we did 313 for purposes, yeah.
Which,
Okay.
will you know? Have to go do that. Oh, yeah. So,
Yes, fine.
All right. Any,
Let her know we'll pick it up on Saturday, and my wife take me over. Oh, we can't do that because, well, the
no, within 13th for the insurance.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, Saturday, the 14th,
Oh, I'll make sure she's okay.
but we need it done by the 13th, and if that works, oh, because she may not be able to work on the 14th. Work it out with her, 13th or 14th, we'll make it work.
Yeah, we
Get anybody in there.
13th afternoon. I think, Ralph will be back.
as long as the thing is open. Well, anything further?
New,
Alright, I would, move to adjourn the, meeting without objection.
no objection.
So, no objection, we will adjourn the meeting at 7:15 PM.
So, special meeting is the one.
Thank you all for coming.